Money Radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
You know, it's hard to get good advice about money these days. It's really difficult. That's why Tom and I do what we do. We're trying to find a way to balance the need to make money for us with your need for good information, honest, straightforward truth as we see it about money and investing and all of the financial things that are a part of that. It's a difficult balance to maintain. It really is, particularly in this day and age. Welcome to Talking Real Money. I'm Don McDonald. That's Tom Cock. Thank you for being there. We really appreciate it. And in this hour of the program, we want to talk a little bit about a couple of things. One, I want to talk a little bit about the industry. The fact that almost everything is pay to play now. Almost every magazine out there now, news source, internet source, radio show, financial TV show. There's all a lot of pay to play involved in. And this came through an article I read recently on Apple News that came from Kiplinger.
Kiplinger, a source I think you could have trusted. Knight Kiplinger, because I interviewed Knight on television. Guy respected.
And we used to have him on Sound Investing all the time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And this article, it came out with the Kiplinger byline. The article was entitled, "Let's Talk About Life Insurance."
I'm sorry.
So, have you had a conversation about life insurance? And, funny, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month.
You didn't know that?
I did not know
come
that.
on.
And so this article that came from the magazine, appearing to be a news story, talks about things like Opportunity One, life insurance is more affordable than you think.
Yeah. Cheaper.
Gee, that sounds like a sales pitch, doesn't it? It's simple to buy life insurance. You can access some life insurance benefits while you're still alive.
Oh, this is where it really gets trouble, going with capital T.
Life insurance offers financial protection for your loved ones. Okay, those are the 4 opportunities, Tom.
Well, okay. But the article alludes to a statistic of which I don't know that you can trust right off the bat. And it says that only 51% of consumers reported owning life insurance, down from 63% in 2011. 22% of people who own it say they don't have enough coverage. Well, I don't know how you really know that until you're gone. But at any rate, should people have life insurance if there's others dependent on it? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Sure.
There you go. That's what we want to do. We want to talk about why do you need it and when do you need it?
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, we've talked about, I still have some, just paid policy course. Well, part one is because I owe everybody in the world a lot of money right now, so I don't want to leave that.
But the reality is you have people who are dependent upon you,
correct,
for an income stream, and your assets may not be enough to provide that should you die soon.
They probably would be in my case,
but
this is just safe. But should you? Yes, if you have a family, you've got kids, you've got other people. Significant others that's dependent on your income today.
There you go.
Sure.
That's the key. Will they suffer from the loss of your income? If the answer is yes, then you should probably have life insurance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Otherwise, nobody needs your money. Why do you have life insurance?
Yeah, we run into this regularly where people have had policies for a long time, and oftentimes they get more expensive as we get older, right? If they're not level term or something, and they call us up and say, well, we still have this $100,000 policy, and they have several $1 million. Like, why do you still have it? Well, because anything happens to me, then I'm going to leave this $100,000. Well, no, it's not a good decision. That's one. I think that's a huge one.
It doesn't make sense financially.
It doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't. So there is an emotional component of which the article did not play well to. I didn't think it wasn't very well written in that regard because this is what companies do. Well, because what companies do generally is they tug on your heartstrings and say, you really should do this because you don't want to leave anybody high and dry. They didn't do a very good job of that in this article. Frankly, they didn't do a very good job of anything. I can't believe anybody from Kiplinger actually wrote this. I don't think they did.
No, they didn't. Oh, see, now that was my big surprise for you here at the end. Because this is not pure journalism. It's a commercial in the guise of a news article. because the article, and they don't say it anywhere. Okay? What they do is they say, this article was written by and presents the views of our contributing advisor, not the Kiplinger editorial staff. The guy who wrote it works for Prudential Insurance.
Sure sounded like it, yeah.
Kevin Brayton, MBA. He's a vice president with Prudential, and this is an article not designed to inform you, but to sell you life insurance. 855-935-TALK is our phone number.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
In medicine, a second opinion might save your life. With investing, a second opinion might save your future. The trick is getting one without a high-pressure sales pitch. Well, I'm Don McDonald, and if you've been listening to Talking Real Money, you know that our goal is to help everyone create a brighter future by investing and managing money better. That's why, in addition to helping everyone on our show and podcast, we are also committed to making our 100% fiduciary advisors at Appella available to help everyone make the best financial decisions based on science. So if you're being pitched a financial product or a system, make sure you get a second opinion with no cost, no obligation, and no annoying sales pitch by going to TalkingRealMoney.com or call 800-386-3004. That's 800-386-3004 or TalkingRealMoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
There are times when it probably is a good idea to talk things over with someone who is not trying to sell you something, particularly when it comes to investing, insurance, and the like. Because there is so much selling going on in the guise of information.
Yeah, I think that's true. And you need to know, thank you for pointing out the source here, because you need to know who is writing what they're writing or what they're saying. What are they grinding at? And in this article, let's talk about life insurance, which also seems like a silly title. Let's talk about life insurance, Tom. Let's talk about it. We mentioned that, yes, in many cases you should have it. In many cases you shouldn't have it. But if you're going to have it, here's the challenge I see is where you're going to go get it. Because if you
what kind you're going to go get.
Well, we can talk about both. But I mean, if you walk in the door of an insurance agency, no offense, oftentimes you get sold into whole life policies. Oftentimes you get sold into
because
annuities.
They have bigger commissions.
Bigger commissions. They make a far bigger living doing that. We favor, and I think the reasons are pretty obvious, why you should have, you could have a level term policy that would be reasonably priced, would provide the coverage that you need, and wouldn't mingle your insurance and your investments. I don't like the two mixed together. The result is generally better for the people selling the product than it is one buying it.
And that's what they cover in his Opportunity 3, saying you can access some life insurance benefits while you're still alive. Those are cash value life policies, whole life, universal life, things that you pay a premium every month. Part of that premium goes to pay for the death insurance, and part of it goes into some sort of an investment. Well, why would you want to go to your insurance agent for an investment when you can get really great ones at less cost without them?
Yeah, they have a bad track record of the products that they use. They're high expense. They're actively managed. But here's the other reason that I think going to somebody like SelectQuote, I don't know where you are on them because we didn't talk about this part.
Any of those, I don't know.
It's a commodity. You're just buying the insurance.
Yes.
You're correct. You're going and see what the best opportunity. Because what often, as I said, happens is you walk in the office, you talk to somebody with your best intentions of just buying that insurance policy, and you walk out the door with a brand new annuity. Because look at what's going on. I still can't believe these numbers, Don. Last year, $385 billion worth of annuities were sold. And I mean sold, because there's big commissions attached to these. And they're saying that number has been topped by 19% so far above that this year. So they're booming. And why are they booming? Well, interest rates are higher, so you're getting a slightly better deal. Here's the other part. Is many of you are reaching that magic age of 65. In fact, more people will turn 65 next year than ever. So you're getting to the place where, hey, I want to take my money and do something with it that's going to pay me for a long time. We'll spend more time talking about why we don't think annuities are a great idea.
There's a ton of competition for your investment money, a ton. And the people who should get the least are the insurance agents.
Yeah,
they should really get property and casualty money for you for things you need to cover, and death insurance only for specific needs and only for the term of those needs. After that, never, and I mean never, buy any kind of investment product from somebody whose company is an insurance company or who is selling an insurance product, even if they don't work for an insurance company. 855-935-TALK. That is our phone number. We have lines open and a ton of time to talk with you about your particular needs, like we're going to do with Tim. Tim, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi. I retired about a year ago, and my wife is a teacher who will retire at the end of this school year. And she has I have a good size cash or, retirement in both traditional IRA and Roth. And she's been investing in, their TRS Plan 3. It's basically a tax deferred savings plan.
403B. Yeah.
403B. That's the one.
Correct.
She has close to 600,000 or something. Anyway, the state offers something called a TAP Annuity, and I'm considering converting a good chunk of hers when she retires into that. I looked at not too long ago what it would pay out, and based on her current holdings, and it was close to 6% of what she currently holds, which is, the old rule of thumb is 4%. So I thought, that's pretty good. And then it's got built in a automatic 3% increase per year. So to me, that looks like good money. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the TAP Annuity is a pretty good product. I mean, this is one we've talked about in the past. This is the great state of Washington offers this to retirees. It is not issued by a major insurance company. I mean, the state of Washington runs this program for its retirees. So it is a better deal, as I say, generally than other annuities. So yeah, the TAP Annuity pays out well. It does have the inflation rider on it. And I think it's actually for those who just don't want to face the volatility of the market, all that kind of thing. You're going to probably end up with a little less money, but who cares, because you're going to get that guaranteed payout every year that allows you to sleep well at night.
Right. And, you lose liquidity, but as I said, I have a pretty good pile myself, so I don't feel like I'm losing all our liquidity by doing that. So, okay, so you don't think it's a bad option?
No, it's a good option for the right people in the right circumstances. For somebody who wants a very high degree of safety for a portion of their portfolio, they want a very high degree of certainty about the income stream too, and the fact that it has an inflation kicker, so to speak. I mean, a semblance of one. That's incredible. That's really unique, and it usually costs a lot of money.
I like what you said, Tim.
Affords all this, because she has a retirement pension as well. The teachers have a pension as well. So
I like what you said.
I mean, that really.
If I can interrupt, because what you said is very important and should not be overlooked. In your case, because she's going to be able to put that there, get the payout, the regular payout, right? Then you have this other liquid money. So if anything comes along, you need more money, whatever you can draw from there. The only time I generally oppose this is when people push all of the money over to that TAP annuity, as you said, giving up their liquidity. And now if something comes along, they can't get at that money. But the fact that you have this balance, I love the balance. I love the fact you're going to get regular income, but you have this other money that you could grow a little bit faster and be able to access in a way that might be very helpful in retirement. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, we're big fans of balance. We really are. We think that that nothing should be, there should be nothing that's all or nothing. And you are doing something very wise, and you have a great opportunity that a lot of people don't get. An annuity that pays above market rates, that is a non-profit. It's a not-for-profit annuity, and it has pretty deep pockets behind it. So
it's been a good product for a long time. Yeah.
Yep. Sounds good. Thanks, Tim.
Okay.
congratulations on your retirement and your wife's, and thank her for being a teacher. Wow, there's a job that's not recognized much and certainly underpaid. So thank you.
And
for all
certainly
that.
difficult to maintain for a long period, particularly these days. My daughter did it.
How long?
1 year in one school and 2 weeks in another.
Well, I had my 2 elementary school students over last night. I lasted about 40 minutes, so my career was less. So
well, my daughter did a inner city school for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Charter school, and they had a kindergartner who was making death threats. Kindergarten.
Wow.
Kindergarten. Hit kids over the head with chairs.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah,
she quit.
Anyway.
She said, can't do it.
Yeah,
Nope.
I don't blame her. She's a nice kid, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, now she's in education technology. Much safer field.
Nobody's hitting you over the head.
AI.
Yeah.
A little AI. You got to do it with a little crazy AI, but other than that, it's pretty good. 855-935-8255. That is our telephone number, and we invite you to come over here and talk with us.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
You know, and the great thing is that Tim's call to 855-935-TALK was timely. It fit right into today's topic, which is insurance and then insurance investments like whole life, universal life, annuities of various kinds. And the type of annuity that Tim and his wife are looking at is the only type of annuity that we think might, and please pay attention to that qualifier, might be appropriate for some people's portfolios, a portion thereof, but not always.
Yeah, and this is a good point. It's not a panacea, right? It's not a solve everything kind of situation here. And in Tim's case, it makes sense, as I said, because you could do that with her money or some of it, and then you still have the other liquidity. My other worry about all these products is they're now becoming more prevalent in retirement plans. You've got companies offering annuities right there inside of 401ks, et cetera, because, well, I'm saving for my future, and that's an easy place to put it.
Those are variable annuities, typically.
Yeah, correct.
That's called a variable annuity, and they are very expensive and generally don't offer the best investment options.
Yeah, and generally they do not. And so, as again, you mentioned, the TAP annuity, an immediate annuity of some kind like that, where the costs are low, where you're not looking to get part of the market return. That has nothing to do with it. This is simply a way to get regular income and sort of secure your future that way. I think those make
the downside, and this is so important that you understand the downside of an immediate annuity, which is what we're talking about. The only kind that makes sense is for someone who wants a portion of their investment portfolio to provide a reasonably certain, now the insurance people who sell them will say 100% certain. That's a lie. Reasonably certain ongoing income for the rest of your life. But there's a downside. Whatever money you put in an immediate annuity is now forfeit. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's not your money anymore. It's the insurance company's money. And in exchange, they have promised you a regular income stream until you or you and another person die. After that, if you guys die early, this is what they're betting on. You die early, they get to keep all the money. You live a long time, that's not good for them. They don't want you to live a long time. They've calculated it, though,
it's a wager.
Pretty accurately. It's a wager, which is what, by the way, insurance has always been. That's what insurance started with a bunch of rich people sitting around in pubs making bets on whether ships would get to where they were going and come back with their cargo.
Yeah.
And if they won, they got a lot of money. If they lost, well, their money went down with the ship. So to speak.
The actuary was right. Yeah, I just had one in the office recently. He said, I'm looking good for a long life, by the way. So,
you did?
Yeah, he's just here. He's a friend. He came in.
A guy who just came in and looked at you and said, you'll live for a while?
That's what he said. I said, you're an actuary. How am I looking? He said, you're looking good. I'll take it.
Yeah, because you made it past 65. Oh, yeah. Gosh, that's
once you get there, it's.
I saw a thing online. A woman who is a medieval history expert, PhD in medieval history. And she said there's a misunderstanding about human life expectancies in the past. We talk about how, in the 19th century, for example, which is not medieval, but 19th century, how people either died or before they could retire, or very few retired.
Yeah.
That's not true. The numbers we look at, the average life expectancy going back thousands of years, are skewed, dramatically skewed, by high infant mortality.
So you didn't live more than a day or two. Yeah,
right. If you made it past 7 years old, then your odds of living until your 60s or 70s were extraordinary, because more people, the vast majority of babies and small children, died early.
Okay, so if we remove those babies from the equation, how does it look? How have we advanced?
You are going to live forever.
Years? I see.
Take the babies out of it, because you made it past 65.
Yeah, if you get to 65, the odds are, if you're in a relationship, that one of two of you will live to your 90s, I think, or something.
Yeah,
so it's a long time. Yeah.
Well,
feel better?
Is it a long time though? I mean, really, let's think about that for a minute.
It gets shorter every day. Let me tell you.
Do you remember the last 20 years of your life?
No, not much.
No, you do. You remember how quickly they happen.
It's gone by.
Think about how quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, now you got another 20.
That's just because I spent so much time with you. That's why it went by fast. It was so pleasurable.
Oh, it was so
happy.
wonderful.
It was such a great time.
Such a BS artist. Hey, well, 855-935-TALK is our phone number. Of course, we have lines open, so don't leave us talking to ourselves.
Tom and Don are talking real money. Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Well, there's more than one way to skin a question. I didn't say skin a cat, because we don't want to talk about cats or,
not
skinning
eating
them
any pets on this show.
No pet eating. Nope. We gave that up for Lent. But we do have questions. You can call us live on Saturdays, noon to 2 Pacific, 3 to 5 Eastern, every Saturday, at 855-935-TALK. Or you can go to our website, which is really easy to remember. What's the name of the show?
I think it's TalkingRealMoney.com.
There you go. Okay. And click on the contact form, and you can speak a question in through your computer mic or the incredible new microphones on the iPhone 16.
I wouldn't know how to use it, but okay.
Really good microphones.
So how do you use your phone to call the show to be taped? I don't know how that doesn't mean, I don't know.
You do, because you go to TalkingRealMoney.com on your phone.
So you open up a web browser, you go to the website, and then okay,
and then you go to the contact form.
Okay. Can I do the show that way from home?
And then there's a button on the contact form. You've got a thing right there in front of you, a little machine.
I'm gonna try from home next Saturday then.
No, you're not, because you're not going to get the wiring in by then. There's
anybody got any Cat 6 lying around?
There's no way you're going to get
out to my place. No,
there's no way you're going to get any Cat 6 cord installed, because the cats are afraid to come to your house because of the whole eating thing. Anyway, 855-935-TALK.
I'm going to put it out there right now. He's only 85 now. 85-pound lab, happy, healthy, not worried about my masticulating.
In a worst case scenario.
And we've gotten that close to it, but we're not there yet. All right.
Kidding. We love dog. Are you kidding? If Debbie even heard me joking.
No, she doesn't even take that well as a joke.
No,
remember we did the one we were in the car, and she's like, not funny.
She does not. No. Do not joke about hurting animals. No.
No, the dog yesterday.
Animals. The dog yesterday. Dogs.
So I think I told you I had the kids, the little boys over yesterday. They threw the ball like 800 yards out into the middle of the lake. That poor dog. By about 7 o'clock he went upstairs and went to bed. He never does that. He just passed out. He was wiped out. So
he just kind of let himself collapse just floated in the lake.
Yeah, exactly.
No, are you kidding? Little boys and a dog that retrieves in the water.
Yeah,
that's like nonstop.
Well, then
nonstop entertainment.
We made a fire too after that.
Because you had to warm the dog up. It was frozen from the lake.
So am I going to read this, or is somebody going to save me from reading the silly question?
Do you have a question?
I have a question, but I'm going to give someone
No, I'm looking at the screen. There's no one there.
Okay. All right. This comes from Larry.
Larry is there. See?
Eagle, Idaho. I've been to Eagle.
Eagle Eye.
Walked into a Walmart. I think it was a Walmart in Eagle, and everything was either in blue or orange. Do you know why?
Oh, because of Boise State, the Broncos.
The entire I walked in.
Oh, gosh, yeah. And as a matter of fact,
crazy.
I love their field because it's like you think you're whacking your TV on the side going,
what's going on?
Why is that field
1967. What the heck?
That grass is blue. Is it that cold in Idaho?
But, Larry, we're going to pick on you because apparently there's not a lot of common sense in Eagle, Idaho. So we'll just say that.
Turn my field on.
Exactly. All right. He says, with the price of homes rising significantly for the past several years, I'm concerned I may never be able to purchase one. I read the average price of a home in the U.S. in 2016 was $357,000. In 2020, it increased to $383,000, and now it's $513,000.
Wow.
However, in the article, apparently this came from an article, it showed that if in 2016 I purchased, and hold your breath, don't say anything, Bitcoin instead of the average home price, I would have 968 Bitcoin. Then in 2020, I could purchase the same house and only need 41 of those 968. And this year I could purchase the same average price for just 12 Bitcoin. My question, do you think it's a good idea to buy Bitcoin, hold it 5 to 10 years to avoid any short-term volatility, as it appears to be a great long-term investment? Why or why not? Well, first of all, it's hard to live in Bitcoin, from what I understand. I don't have any, but it's really,
and even if you had a lot of them,
not very much.
Even if you had a lot of them and glued them all together, they still wouldn't provide any shelter whatsoever.
A lot of wind.
Well, here's the thing. Have you looked at the chart of Bitcoin? Have you? Have you looked? What if, let's pull it up because I haven't done this in a while.
No, you haven't actually. And now that you're home comfortably ensconced in your place, maybe you should bring it out
I've been trying to ignore it, but let's go back 5 years and let's take a look at Bitcoin. November of 2021, Bitcoin got to 64.
By the way, FYI, that's only 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Okay.
I know, but I went back 5. I pulled up a 5-year chart.
Okay.
Okay, in 5 years, it went from 10,000, in 2 years, it went from 10,000 to 64,000.
Yeah.
Roughly. But, wait, what about in December of 2022, just a little over a year later? It dropped to 16,000 and change.
Wow.
So, could you have bought a house? No, you would have been in trouble. You would have been upside down. And here's the other thing. What if Bitcoin fails completely? Why wouldn't it?
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Do you suffer from hodgepodgeitis? I'm Don McDonald, and hodgepodgeitis is a disease of your investment portfolio whose symptoms include lots of stocks, loads of random loaded mutual funds, and maybe an annuity or two. Most who suffer from hodgepodgeitis dread opening their quarterly portfolio statements. They feel lost and confused. Investing seems overwhelming and the financial future uncertain. If you believe you suffer from hodgepodgeitis, see a 100% fiduciary investment advisor immediately. A proper diagnosis is the first step to creating a portfolio with a purpose based on a personal plan. Start on the road to recovery now by scheduling a free meeting with an Appella advisor at TalkingRealMoney.com. There is no cost, obligation, or high-pressure sales pitch. Take the first step at TalkingRealMoney.com or call 800-386-3004. Hodgepodgeitis is not a real disease, but treating it has been shown to improve mood, reduce fear, and even lead to a brighter financial future. Results may vary.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Your call's invited. Our phone number is 855-935-TALK. I'm Don McDonald, along with Tom Cock, and talking about Bitcoin before the break. And the all-time high for Bitcoin ever is about over $71,000. Okay, that occurred in March 2024.
So just a few months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's take that. Let's just go backward a little bit. Prior to that, the high was in 2021, October, about 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Yeah. Pretty close.
And that was $66,000. So let's assume you were like our correspondent and you looked at it and you went, my gosh, it's gone from, $3 in 2011 to $66,000 now in 2021.
Sure.
The trend is our friend. Let's get it. Let's buy it at $66,000. So you bought it 3 years ago at $66,000, and you hung on to it thinking, I'm going to get the big gains that everybody else has gotten over the next 4 years. Well, you did okay just recently, and you would have lost a lot of money in 2022. You would have been down $50,000 a Bitcoin per Bitcoin.
Per Bitcoin. Wow.
Per Bitcoin.
Wow.
But you wrote it back up. You went, oh, okay, 71.4. That's good. I'm good. I'm better. Then, oops, wait. Whoa, wait a minute. What's going on? It's July. It's August. We're in the 64. Oh, no. It's August and we're down to 58 and change. Oh, no. Oh, we're back up to 63. If you had purchased it 3 years ago, right now, today, you would be at a loss.
I just looked. If you'd done the same thing with stocks, you'd have made money. But let's talk about why. I think that's more important than the numbers, no, we would not recommend this strategy to buy a home, just so you know. But let's talk about why, because stocks and bonds are actual things. A stock is actual ownership in a company. A bond is an IOU, right? This is actually issued by a company, a government that's going to pay you back with interest, give you your principal back. You can say no such thing about Bitcoin. It has none of those characteristics. It literally is a speculative instrument that you might think is worth, well, I think somebody said it's going to be $1 million next year. I keep reading the headline somewhere. It's going to be $1 million in 2025.
Well, it was supposed to be $1 million before now.
or it could be $10. I mean, it's purely what the next person says it's worth. There is nothing behind it other than that speculation. There's gold, which at least has the gold, but that's a pretty speculative thing too. In other words, it really comes and goes depending on how people feel about various things. So no, that's not something we think you should invest in. That is gambling.
And let me tell you, when I was a young man, I had a very low paying job. I think by this point, I had just started working for a Volkswagen Subaru dealership as a service advisor. So I wasn't getting rich, but I was making a decent lower middle class wage. And I thought, gosh, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford a house. There's just no way. They were out of my reach. So what I did in my early 20s was bought a really crappy, broken down
fixer-upper,
really, really cheap,
Yeah,
and
you remember how much?
I did, I think it was $18,000.
Wow, it's crazy.
I mean, it was. I mean, literally the walls and a guy had died in there, and he was a smoker. So the walls
permeated smoke there for you,
and he didn't vent it at all. Apparently, when he cooked, and he cooked everything with a lot of grease. Oh. You could squeeze the drywall, and grease would come out.
Oh, come on!
No, I'm serious. So what I did was, after work, sometimes some friends would come over and help. We'd rip out drywall and just put up new stuff.
Yeah.
So we just basically all we did was clean it up. Just clean it up, and it took months and months and months to do it. Put, some new fixtures in the bathroom, new appliance, nothing fancy, just cheap stuff.
Yeah.
And a year later, sold it for $35,000.
Hey, that's good return on your money.
Now I have the down payment on a decent house.
I see. So you're a flipper, is what you're saying?
No, there are ways. That was it. That was the one time I did it.
The one flip that worked.
But that was when I could least afford a house. Yeah. So there are ways around this.
Necessarily having the money for the house you want, is what you're saying.
It's not the house it wasn't. No. It was disgusting. But it put a roof over our heads, and then in a year made us money. And
it put grease in your cooking pan, apparently.
That was just gross.
The
house was gross.
Story. Wow, that's an interesting story. But so what you're saying is there's alternatives.
There are alternatives.
One of which should not be Bitcoin.
None of which should be Bitcoin.
Okay, well, that's what he said. If I had done Bitcoin, I'd own this house. I'd still have all these Bitcoins. I'd be in great shape.
Yeah, and if your grandparents had bought you small cap value stocks in 1929, you'd be a billionaire. So
I just looked at that number because excuse me, we're coming up on 100 years of data now.
Yeah, we are.
2.5 years, I think, away. And
26, I think it is. Yeah.
It's 2.5 or 3. It's close. And I just looked at U.S. small cap value stocks to this point in the 97 or 98 years, 12.4% a year. Average annualized return, not every year, but that compares to large companies like the S&P 500 at about 10. So, I mean, that difference, delta, whatever you want to call it, has existed for a very long time. And that's another reason, and we're getting off the path here, but why we suggest
No, but it's
some small cap.
What was it? 12.4?
12.4. And I think the S&P is
there'd be 97
10.
years, I believe.
Okay.
Is that
so
right?
I think maybe it's 2 years and a few months or something. But
let's just see if you invested $10,000.
How much?
If you invested $10,000.
97 years ago?
Okay, 10,000 was way too much money. You invested $1,000.
$1,000. Okay.
Yeah,
which still would have been a lot of money 100 years ago, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, because that's just too big a number. Because the 10,000 was too much money.
Yeah.
If you invested 1,000 97 years ago.
Yeah. In just small cap value.
12.4%.
Yeah.
And you didn't add another penny for the 100 years.
Just let it ride.
I wish my great-grandparents had done this. $157 million.
Wow. 1,000 to 157 million.
Yeah. It's in about 100 years.
And you didn't have to do any of the work.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's my idea. This is a great idea.
Okay.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are a young person and you have an extra $1,000. You just had kids. Okay. You just had a kid. Put $1,000 in an account that is earmarked for their grandchild, that kid's grandchild.
Generation skipping trust?
Your great-grandchild, your great-grandchild, not your grandchild, but it'd be your great-great-grandchild.
Yeah, it depends on,
Yeah. Great-great-grandchild, put $1,000 away in small cap value in AVUV.
UV, yeah.
AVUV. Let it ride for 100 years and let your kid go, what? Your offspring is go, $100 million? Thanks, great-grandpa.
Not going to know you, not going to know much about you, but they'll thank you.
Not going to know you, but they're going to appreciate you.
Very much so. It's a great story. Anyway, just stick with the basics, stick with stocks and bonds, and don't try to use stuff like Bitcoin. It just drives me crazy that people think that's investing. It's not. So.
Nope, it's not. And I don't care what they say. It never will be, in my opinion. But, of course, what do I know? I'm not as smart as all these younger Bitcoiners. 855-935-TALK. We'll be back.
Tom and Don are talking real money. For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Somebody, isn't there? Yeah.
We only have time for one last call before we have to go. Mike, welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi. Yeah, I love your show. So,
Thank you.
I agree with you. Bitcoin is speculation totally, kind of like the Dutch tulip bulbs. But
yeah,
if
that's a good analogy.
That actually has to have Bitcoin, and they want to do it right, they would set like a cash Bitcoin ratio 50-50. So when Bitcoin, when you deviate from your 50-50 ratio to, say, 60-40, you sell your extra 10% Bitcoin.
Rebalancing your Bitcoin, really.
Rebalancing your Bitcoin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But someone who has to have Bitcoin probably would never would want to go all in on Bitcoin and not have cash.
But Mike, does anyone really need Bitcoin for anything? What can you do with it?
You can go to El Salvador and spend it at big, right? Don't they have there's a national currency?
I agree. It's a useless investment, not useless speculation. But if someone wants to do it, then you need to rebalance. So you
and that works, and that might work if Bitcoin survives. If Bitcoin doesn't survive,
not gonna matter.
If 67,000 was its all-time high and it goes to zero from there,
right?
Even rebalancing,
investment,
you lose half your investment.
Yeah, you still have the cash.
Painful. Painful.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you so much for the call, Mike. We appreciate it. And remember, you can call us every Saturday at 855-935-TALK from 3 to 5 Eastern time. We love to talk with you.
And you
this
can
show
call
becomes
us during
a
the
podcast.
week. You can call us. I took innumerable calls
that's a different kind of call. That's a call to our office.
Yeah, people want
to
some help.
talk with an advisor.
Talked to people in Texas, California, New York last week, Georgia. Nice woman in Georgia. It was a great week. A lot of people calling us. So
how'd they get the number?
That too. I don't know. They went online and found it or something. 800-386-3004. They called it up, and there I was. Loved it.
And by the way, that spells FUND, F-U-N-D, 004.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
004. No, that's why we got the number originally.
You got the number.
I got the number. I owned that number since 1989.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's got to be a record of some kind.
Yeah.
It's okay. Here it is again. If you want to call, and you can, yes, you can ask for me because I take a lot of calls. 800-386-3004. No cost, no obligation.
He's just going to be in a bad mood after 30,000 of you call.
No, I loved it. Those are my favorite calls. There's other calls, not so much. Other people I talk to.
It's the managing the office. Yeah. I'd rather live without that.
Please.
That's my new philosophy. And also, if you don't want to call, you can go to talkingrealmoney.com and click on the contact form. No, click on Meet an Advisor. The contact form's where you ask questions. Yeah. Click on Meet an Advisor, and you can just set up an appointment. So easy. And what happens is you just get help. I know. It sounds a little wacky, doesn't it? You just get help.
Most people are shocked by that.
You
but it's
just get help. You don't get asked for money. You don't get pressured to become a client. You'll feel like, wait a minute, there must be a catch someday. And then you find out years later there was no catch.
Yeah, and some people do become clients. Some people get a little help and offer it to others.
Yeah, because it's so hard. I mean, it's so hard to find an advisor who's always acting as a fiduciary, who's always required to act as a fiduciary. That's why people join us and become part of what we do, because one, we don't charge that much. It's more fair than most of the brokerage firms. And it's just easy. Just go to talkingrealmoney.com, click on that little button that says Meet an Advisor, and you will meet an advisor, and they will help you understand real money.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions. Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy. Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services. Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. Is anybody still listening?